Hello friends and welcome to Zonadiscgolf. We are going to watch the highlights of the Spanish season, the Spanish Championship that was held in Sestao and Portugalete in the Basque Country. And we have two special guests to commentate it, Abel from Madrid and Devin from Bilbao. Hello, how are you doing?
How's it going, Calixto? Thanks for having us.
Yeah, howdy, good to be here again.
Why do we have such special images?
Yeah, so I guess out in Portugalete, Leon tried to cross the river here like 170 meters. I mean, dude's got a cannon, but yeah, let's see what happens here.
We made a lot of noise. Even the television came here. Well, the idea was to attract people to the Spanish Championships. There he goes.
Man, that's a rip. It's a lot further than it looks on this video. And he touches the wall, which is pretty dope.
Well, well, we attracted attention, which was the important thing.
Yeah. How many discs did he throw at that?
Like a dozen.
Okay. And this is pretty cool. This is the awards setup. This is the home base. They had some nice fruit and snacks for all the players. Calixto, I didn't know who this group was. And then there's just the temporary baskets that we've got set up for some training.
And this is the FPO final, which we have two pools so that we can watch the end of the female players. So it was important to create some ambience and to free up some players to act as gallery in the MPO final.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this was the group that played in the morning. I think they teed off around 9:30.
Carla Martin.
Yep. This is Carla Martin taking first place in the FPO. All right.
And here are the standings after the second round. Carlos Rio is heading with 15 under, Manuel Dominguez 10 under, Fede Sörenson 9 under, Blanco 8 under, and Abel 8 under. So there is a big gap between the first and the second. Let's see what happens in the third round.
Yeah, so hole one here is pretty straightforward. Yeah, you're looking at 111 meters. OB comes into play right behind it. It's like 5 feet behind the basket. Nothing to the left or to the right. And I think this round there was a tailwind. So if you got your disc up in the air, you could definitely push OB. Not really a problem for me, but these guys could all definitely bring that OB into play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that ground's really packed in, so whether you're throwing a forehand or a hyzer into this zone, you got to skip long into that OB right behind the basket. And it's left or right through here. You can see that flag moving. And it's got this bench, which really kind of messes with your follow through on the backhand mentally, and then you got this little tree in your face as well. I kind of wish that bench was a meter or two to the right. It does come into your head and affects your release point.
Yeah, longest tee pad on the course though, so there's that.
Yeah, there's true.
Manuel Dominguez from Costa de Doñana, Team Yooando, he's also a big gunner. Both Manuel and Leon are known for their big distance. I guess that the first part of the course in Portugalete are more open holes, and they could have an advantage over Carlos Rio, which is a veteran player that has a lot of touch, but not so much distance.
Yeah, man, he's got a cannon, so does Leon. They have a real advantage on these open holes on the distance, but as we'll see here later in the round how they do in the woods, you need both in your wheelhouse. So it'll be interesting to see how they compete with Carlos Rio through here, who's got just great woods play, obviously.
Yeah, definitely an advantage being able to throw the mid-range here if you got it.
Yeah, see that thing? There goes that skip again, coming in hot. It's a good shot, though. I mean, just to be in the circle at all is pretty good on this thing.
Robert,
Fede, he's flown down from Germany. I believe he's still living there full time. So he's come down to compete in the Spanish Championship as a Spanish national. Let's see what Fede's got here. He's got a good backhand. He's got really good form. Just lets it go a bit wide. Maybe he's hoping for that super skip here.
Yeah, I mean, looks like he made an adjustment on the other guys and swung it wider, but maybe just a bit low. But I don't know, he's still maybe a circle 2 look there.
Yeah, let's chat with some of the guys. I think Manuel just really hasn't played much this year. It's just amazing how well he's playing.
Yeah, come on, man.
This
That was
game.
some 20-meter putt, no? Something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
excellent.
That
Excellent
was pretty
start.
swaggy. He knew it was in.
A quick little replay here on this.
How close the OB is.
Yeah, I like how he just walks it in a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
It's a good way to end up and to start increasing the pressure over Carlos Rio. That
Yes.
has a 5-stroke advantage.
Let's see what Leon's got here. This is a slightly uphill for him and downwind. So the downwind's going to make the putt drop, but he's got to get it up because of the height. And he hyzers out and goes. He's safe. Okay. Yeah, those uphill putts downwind are pretty difficult.
Yeah. This area that you see, it has had a recent movement on the soil, so it's gonna receive 1,200 trees this winter and grass, so it's gonna change completely.
That'll be great.
They have built the disc golf course, and now they're gonna put the forest later.
Perfect.
So it's gonna be fun.
Solid
It'll
putt
be
by
cool,
Fede
though.
there.
Check this course out in 30 years.
Let's see what Carlos has got. Is this for birdie? Because I thought he skipped out a little bit. Nice birdie. Solid start. And here's Leon getting his meter relief. Since it was in bounds, he has to come perpendicular from the line. If it was actually out of bounds, he could come a meter in.
Euskadisc Golf te ofrece servicios integrales de disc golf. Construcción de campos, con estudio personalizado y materiales de máxima calidad. Servicios de formación y organización de eventos de disc golf. Y tienda física y online con las mejores marcas. Descubre todo esto y mucho más en euskadiscgolf.com.
All right, hole 2. Man, I'll tell you, this is a tricky hole. That OB gets pretty tight there. That pinch point's kind of an hourglass shape. What I've found here, when you're not distracted by the rabbits running on the right side, is if you got your disc low, the predominant wind is left to right, which can really cause you to hyzer in and go OB right. If you see that ledge up on the right side, if you try to go high backhand or if you get the disc up in the air, the wind is actually right to left and dumps your disc left. So a lot of people are confused as why they went OB or left or right. It just depends on their height. This is a super elevated green to land on, and traditionally up at the Basque, you got a headwind you got to fight. So you're throwing uphill into a headwind, trying to sit down on this hard packed clay, essentially. It's a challenging hole, and that got a lot of people on the tee pad. Let's see if everyone can stay in bounds on this tee shot. I know this definitely got a lot of people.
Oh, got me for sure. And like this, it's the second shot is just the footing is awful. So
Yeah, totally.
the more ground you can cover, the less you have to worry about.
It's almost one of those holes. If your tee shot was shorter, just to give yourself some flat footing, that second shot all the way up is pretty easy. But you're on that tee pad, you're trying to get as far up that fairway as you can, and like you said, Devin, you're leaving yourself with some tough footing. So your second shot isn't even what you want.
So, some Finnish players say that when they have difficult footing, like when they play in the winter with the snow, they tend to use more the forehand because it's easier for the footing than the backhand.
Yeah, it's an easier standstill form. That's a great rip, getting all the way up there. He's happy about it, which is awesome. Let's see what Fede's got here. You can see those bushes whipping on that right side. It's definitely howling through here this morning. It was about a 15 mile an hour constant wind with 20 mile an hour bursts for sure.
Yeah, it is possible to get up there for the eagle. I know a guy on my card got, I don't know, 60 feet.
Yeah. So that's that up high, right to left. That's dumping.
Oh,
and
wow.
he's just stayed inside. It was good. Good sit down there.
Devin, you are part of the Euskadisc Golf team. In which card were you playing? How what's your experience in this tournament?
Well, I'm a few cards down there, but it was definitely cool to play like a real tournament on this course because we just got these last 8 holes up here in Portugalete a few months ago. Obviously, it's kind of just length and elevation, but it's cool to have 18 holes in Bilbao. I mean, we don't have a ton of courses in Spain, so we feel pretty lucky to have one. On a metro stop, can't complain.
Yeah, I came through about 12 months ago and was able to play the 9 holes that we're in. It's so great to see the full 18 out here. So let's see if Fede can get up. So he's got that uphill footing just inside inbounds. I don't know where that landed. This is Leon's drive, so he got just outside the circle on his drive. This gives him an eagle look. But as you can see, there's this morning, the beginning of this round was quite windy.
Looks to be, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'll be fine there. And this is for an eagle as well. Both these guys ripped it way up here. Okay, just laying up the birdies, which is smart play. You can definitely get a roll away down this hill, which is pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean, we're only on hole 2. There's time to make up strokes. I don't think right now is the time to risk it.
Yeah. The flagpole is about to bend.
I mean, even this is a tester. Yeah. This is that uncomfortable 3-meter range, 10, 15 feet. And I did not know that he missed that. But as I'm saying, that tailwind, those putts drop. Okay, so he got his par.
Yeah, I know that Leon goes super nose down on his putts, which is great in general, but the tailwind.
In the wind, it's going to be. We'll see how that does for this round for him. That's a good point.
Oh yeah, here's hole 3. You got hazard before this path up here. Yeah, I mean 83 meters. You got this this sloping green, so if you throw hyzer, it'll tend to skip out. I mean, forehand's probably ideal, or you can throw flat and straight at it and just hope it sticks. But it's a pretty straightforward hole. I'd expect all these guys really want to birdie this one.
Yeah, through here, I was playing 2 holes ahead of this group. Through here, there was a lot of wind that we just saw in this last hole. So I'll see where these guys end up landing. Coming in backhand into this hole, you're worried about exposing the bottom of the disc and hyzering way out. But if you got the nose down, that nose down's going to dig into the wind, and you may end up short of the road or skip out left. Let's see what
the organization
the line
said,
drive. There you go.
Yeah, that's great.
Perfect, beautiful.
Organization set a hazard-free area on your right for the players that didn't have the distance to reach the basket, so they didn't have to penalize the hazards. So you could go the long route, but for juniors, females, veterans.
Yeah, that's a good approach. For advanced and less is really shouldn't force people to throw over a hazard more than 150 feet. So that layup area on the right is the right way to go. So Carlos is pretty wide, but just outside the circle with a headwind putt.
Yeah, that's a scary one. I mean, if you run that and you miss, you got a good chance of rolling down and out of bounds.
I don't think anyone's going to run their putt on this hole unless they're inside the bullseye. That's a nice release.
Okay.
Got to watch that skip out. Okay. So he's inside the circle with a downwind putt.
Yeah.
Which is a good challenge.
Here we can see Jose San Pedro as acting as a spotter. We want to thank all the volunteers that have acted as spotters, as markers. It's easier to make the Spanish championships a bit easier for the players.
Yeah, those spotters were great, man. You did a great job, Clito, getting some volunteers out, having them throughout the course. Now, here's Carlos laying up, smart call. That's a scary putt.
Oh, for
Not
sure.
worth it when you're in the lead by 4 strokes.
Yeah, or if you're like me and you're 25 strokes off the lead, you run it. And I did birdie this one of like
Nice.
3 on the round. Yeah, this is a scary one. I mean, you hit metal and it doesn't go in. That's rollaways for sure.
I think he's going for it. Okay, sit.
No,
sit.
it's
Okay.
okay.
That could have easily rolled away. That was good landing. All right, so let's see what Leon does here. His first hole was downwind uphill. Let's see if he corrects it. He does. All right.
Classy outfit for Leon, eh? He's
Yeah.
so elegant. You gotta keep the image of the disc golf community.
There you go.
A tad high.
Yeah, he's petting the basket, saying thank you. He owes it some love. And this is for his birdie. It's not an easy one either. But he's used to that coastal disc golf playing in the wind. I'm sure Manuel's pretty comfortable out here, probably, in this wind.
He's from Cádiz. Cádiz is known for the heavy winds.
Yeah. There's our guy, Devin. All right, hole 4. Interesting hole. I mean, it's only 60 meters, so about 195 feet. What really gets you on this hole is the wind. You just kind of want to throw a putter at this thing, but if you've got a lot of wind, these little bushy trees can get you. You've got OB short of this hedge bush here below the basket. So if you land right at the basket, you could roll down into those hedges low. You got to clear this hedge wall right in front of you. So traditionally, I've always thrown a thumber at this hole just to take the bushes out in the wind. But a lot of people like to do the backhand here. Because you got to get over that bush.
Just snuck through, yeah? Did he clear the bushes? I didn't quite see.
I don't know. I can't tell. I mean, the tough thing about this shot when you're throwing a putter is if you've got that left side down, if you get your nose down, that crosswind's just going to just suck that putter straight to the ground, and you're not going to go far.
Manuel was in bounds, but he was in
Okay.
bounds.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Thank you. But so the safest shot here, is get that mid-range and a stable mid-range like Leon did, and just kind of trust it to cut through.
Yeah, it looks like that leaked to edge of the circle, I think.
This kind of shot's right in Carlos's wheelhouse. Let's see. See that drop? That's that drop I'm talking about with the putter. So he's OB. That's exactly what I was saying, man. Those putters, you got to get that lip, that edge just right, or that wind's going to suck it. And you just saw it get sucked straight down.
Yeah, I usually just go hyzer and try to get it to. Sometimes you get the skip, sometimes you don't. Kind of like this.
So
whether you're
Fede's
doing a
got this thing
backhand or
looks skippy.
forehand.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It gets the distance better, but with the wind, then you have to get it up in the air. But that was great.
So is this a forced re-tee? I guess so, yeah. He went out of bounds right in front of him. There's no drop zone. Okay. All right, so re-tee from Carlos. So he'll be putting 4.
Okay, yeah, he did. Yeah, he was deeper than I thought.
Yeah, so I'll go layup from Leon.
Headwind 30-footer.
I mean, Fede looks like he's lining this up into the headwind. Nope. Smart call. That's a death putt behind that basket. So that was a smart move on Fede's part. And Let's see what Carlos has got here. Come on, bud. Solid.
Oh, yeah.
That's a solid bogey save. Good putt. All right. So this will be for Manu to have four birdies, right? Manuel. Let's see if he can get it. Come on, big dog. Oof. Oh, man.
He overcorrected, yeah. He had some tailwind. He overcorrected too high, yeah.
Let me see. No, now he's got to putt right back into the wind with a left cross. That's why he's taking a knee. He's trying to cut through that crosswind so he can... The disc wants to rise up into that headwind, so he's going to let it rise up into those chains. There he goes. Great execution. So he's upset he missed that birdie, but he still feels powerful after saving that par. So that's awesome. Good par from Leon. Tap in for Fede.
All right, yeah, hole 5. We got only par 5 on the course, 250 meters. Pretty straightforward. You got OB like far left. So your first shot, you're trying to cover some ground, finish left. You don't want to push too straight. There's OB on the right. If you get too far left, you got OB over there. Then there's this area of like rocks and mud that you need to clear. So your second shot, maybe right, is going to end up like right here or over to the right. You're going to cross. But yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward. Not the most difficult par 5. But yeah, wind. That's the name of the game here in Sestao.
In the morning in the FPO division, we even saw some 12 strokes here on this hole because there was some heavy wind, even heavier than the MPO. So it was really a real nightmare. And it will change a lot when they plant all those 1,200 trees.
Trees would be great on these holes. I mean, these holes, they're okay. They're excellent for what you got right here, but trees will really change it. So if you remember that wind we had on those last 2 holes, man, that's coming at 11 o'clock around the soccer stadium here on our left. So you gotta get around this corner at the right angle, or you get flipped over or dumped by this crosswind from the left. And
this is also an eagle bowl one.
This tee pad's set up for the championship. It's not the permanent tee pad, so that's why we're throwing off a sidewalk and asphalt here. This asphalt's pretty slippery. I actually kept putting my towel down.
Oh yeah, I did the same. It was slick.
Even when it was dry. So he's got to watch this flip up and stable enough it's going to come back in. It's good drives.
Like I was saying, I think it was eagled a couple times. I mean, at 250 meters, it's not insane. You just, if you can cover enough ground on this first shot, you can cross that OB section and give yourself an eagle look, but...
I think it's glidey. There you go. He's got out there. So from here, most of the drives that I had and other guys, from here it's about 550 feet to clear past the OB island. And so a lot of people are just laying up about a 250-foot shot here. That's what I did both times. Just get safe right there and then throw over the OB. I think Leon is really one of the only guys out here that has the distance to reach the basket after a drive. With a high percentage of execution. A lot of people might try, but...
Yeah, I think he's going... Yeah, he's going
and he's got quite a headwind today, so... it's not a gimme.
Oh, yeah. So nice. Yeah, he crossed the OB.
Okay.
That's it.
Just outside circle. That's excellent.
Let's see if Manuel also goes for it.
That's a good rip. He's got it turned over into a headwind.
If it stays up, though, does it get... Okay.
I think it
Yeah, it's safe.
It
It's safe.
slopes down over
Okay.
there, so he's able to skip in bounds.
Robert, you are the CEO of Zonadiscgolf Golf. You are
Yeah.
working hard to promote disc golf, especially in Madrid.
Yes.
And tell us a bit what you're doing.
Well, we're still working hard on our first course going in. We've got the support of some foundations to install the first course here in Madrid soon. We're waiting on the final paperwork with a local university to let us install a full 18-hole course on their property. Hopefully today I get the final word that we're 100% on the project. So more details coming soon, but getting a full 18-hole course in the capital city, I think will really set the tone for the rest of the country of legitimizing and justifying using public land for these courses, so people can get exercise, get out there with their family and friends, and do what we all love doing. It makes sense to us, but we got to convince new people, So,
Yeah, great work, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Now these guys this is an eagle that he's just trying to lay this up into the headwind here so you can have a tap in par birdie.
Yeah. Should be pretty easy from there. It looked like was that his third shot? He's looking at like 80 feet.
Yeah, he's looking at 80 for a birdie.
Okay.
Sorry, good.
Take a par.
Yeah, so he's gonna lay this up.
Okay.
Yeah, this hole definitely, if you looked at this course plays a little harder today with this wind than the last 2 days. I bet you most of these guys had birdies yesterday. They're getting pars today. The wind really changed this hole today.
Yeah, that is the trick with this course is it's always windy, almost always windy. And some of the tee pads when it's rainy are super slick and on the shorter side of things, so it can be hard to get like a proper run up. Kind of throws off your tempo.
Hole 6, man. This is a hole that I welcome some trees. I'm ready. It's just right there, and it is downhill, but you generally have a crosswind here from the left. This is that section where the wind shifts through those buildings. It does something weird. I mean, you're just trying to get out there and get in the circle. The basket's also pretty elevated. It's not a normal height. It's tricky. It should be really straightforward. And hopefully these guys can execute.
Along with the trees, it will come in a super elevated basket with even higher and with a pyramid of trees around, and I think it's gonna get trickier with the new trees and the new super elevated basket.
Yeah, that's good. It's I was talking with Antoni, the designer of the course, and told him he did a great job. I think this is a great course for Bilbao. Just as you'll watch some of these holes, a lot of these baskets are just installed a little high. On average, I'd say most of them are about a half a foot or a foot higher than they should be. A good base of design is to have 2 to 5 elevated baskets. There's a big skip there.
He almost hit the
even though
pin,
these
too.
holes are short, you may not see it very well in this video, but they're all a little high, which adds a level of difficulty. And that's why some of these putts are harder than they look. With elevation and the height, they're tricky.
I guess that Fede is going for the forehand to avoid being carried by the right to left wind.
It's, that wind's coming from the left. He's going to try to come out. It looks like it's at the right from the basket, okay? But it's swirling. So he's trying to come in super left and sit down. And I think it's the safer shot on this hole right now.
Yeah, that looked great. Yeah, this is always a weird hole. Like the slope to the right sucks your disc down if you don't get enough high. And if you get it up on hyzer, you saw with Manuel, he got it up too high, it drifted left. Leon tried to adjust and go lower, and it took a huge skip. So it looks so easy. But this looks pretty.
Yeah,
great.
I mean, this is a good execution what Carlos did. I mean, when you do the hyzer, he's still missing left. You really got to get it out right, way further right than you think. As I said, it looks simple, but it's a sly one.
Here we can see the heavy wind that we said. It was around 40 kilometers an hour. max speeds and very gusty and sometimes changing of direction.
Yeah, so Leon's just laying this up. You can see that ground play there just from the wind.
Yeah, the ground is. They planted some grass, but the problem is that it was quite dry those last months, so the grass hadn't had an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
So we hope that this winter we have everything covered in green, and it will change aesthetically, and also the greens will be way different.
Well, for us here in Bilbao, in Madrid, this terrain looks pretty normal to us. It's so lush and green in Bilbao. It's such a great place to go play disc golf.
Oh, I mean, the Basque Country has some, that's so beautiful. There's just, I'm always like, when I'm on the highway in the bus or whatever, I'm like, man, there is so much space for some amazing courses, but we'll see.
So Fede hasn't had a birdie since the first hole here. He's been playing smart golf. But he's got to get some strokes to catch up. Let's see if he can get one here. So once again, this is a downhill putt to an elevated basket with a crosswind from the left. Tough putt.
Yeah.
Good run, though.
Yeah, it was on line when it left his hand, but...
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at a steady 15-mile-an-hour wind right now for sure. Good putt.
So much confidence.
Okay, so with this par, Manuel is now just one stroke behind Carlos Rio. We had 5-stroke advantage, and everything is getting closer and closer. It's becoming very exciting, this final.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Manuel, he's off to just a super solid start. Oh, whoa, don't touch it. Don't touch it. And that's that wind. You saw that spit right back out. Yeah, Manuel's on fire, man. He's four down through the first 5 here. He's not super pleased with that par, doesn't look like, but kid's on fire. He's doing good.
Yeah, hole 7, downhill, 172 meters, par 4. I guess there's, you got an OB line on far left if you get your disc up too high, and you got OB on the right, which probably shouldn't come into play for anyone. But this is pretty straightforward. It's just downhill. You're looking at it. I'm not sure what the wind was doing on this one and for this round. I can't quite remember.
It was still right to left this time. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess this is probably eagleable for Leon. I don't know.
It's totally reachable for him. I mean, if you can throw 500, 450, you're going to reach it. I mean, I think this basket plays like 600, but it's downhill a lot, you know?
Yeah, I got like a circle 2 look, and I mean, I don't throw super far, but I ended up like maybe 50, 60 feet for an eagle look.
Yeah. I mean, you got so much fairway to work with here. Really, you just got to keep it down out of the wind. You got OB super left that carries over from hole 2, which really shouldn't come into play for these guys. But that's a rip. Anything you can start being back uphill. I mean, honestly, the toughest thing on this hole is you're just outside circle 2, pitch up with bad footing because there's so many little rocks and holes. Try to park it and get your birdie. So this is a nice rip. He's getting a full flight.
Come on. Okay. Wow. Circle 1.
Excellent shot.
160 has done. Oh, wonderful eagle look. Come on.
Yeah, so he circles edge for an eagle. Watch his hips, his turn. His timing's just solid.
Yeah, great height.
Really helps him get that power through his arm into the disc. Perfect turnover flight, stable disc. It's going to carry the wind back. It's just textbook, man. That's what we're all trying to do.
So good. Great highlights. Okay, if Carlos has not done so much distance, he will have to use another weapon, no?
He's got a lot of weapons in that hoodie, man. Let's see what he's got. Consistency is one of his biggest weapons.
And that's great. And then that's going to be an easy pitch. Well, should be a pretty routine pitch up for a birdie. As long as you don't turn it over down that hill to the right, I think this one's super straightforward. I'm not sure what the stats were, but this probably played like one of the easier holes for the MPO.
Yeah, I believe it is. Let's see what Fede's got here. You know, the only thing that really comes in, you got these power lines he's about to go through. I haven't seen anyone hit them, but you can see them in the way there. That's a good rip.
I hit them with a drone.
Yeah, with a drone.
Yeah, no damage, fortunately.
It's interesting in disc golf, you know, in ball golf, if you hit power lines, you have to automatically re-tee with no penalty. You don't get to play that shot. In disc golf, we don't have that rule. It's one of the few rules that we have that don't match. I personally would like to have a free rethrow if I had a power line.
Yeah, I haven't hit those lines yet.
So this is that tough up shot with that crosswind. You know, you're just trying to get it. It's that distance that gets you. You know, 150 feet. You're just trying to pitch it up. You want to throw a putter and just lob it in there, but then that wind is coming up that hill on that right, and there's an updraft. And as you saw Carlos there, I mean, that guy's a sharpshooter. I mean, he's a circle's edge, I think.
Yeah, and this one's like, since there's nothing in this field, it's kind of your perceptions. It's a little deceiving, the distance. And do these guys have rangefinders? I don't know. I don't use one, but I know sometimes I make that mistake where I go putter, and I was like, man, that should have been a mid range. That was probably pushing, you know. So it's when you got obstacles in the way, it helps give you that depth perception. And these wide open holes, man, it's an optical illusion sometimes on the distance. It's a good run though from outside circle. So yeah, I think the trees will they'll be beautiful. I think that's excellent eagle.
You had to make it, not just reach the circle, but convert it into a beautiful eagle.
Well done. Sigh relief.
Pretty suave. That didn't look like his normal putting form, you know. I don't know, but either way, it was suave.
Very nice.
I love that blue color on the card.
Yeah, it's hard to get. All right, we got another knee putt, so he's trying to cut through the wind again. So it's a good run. So another headwind putt here for Fede. He's got to get some birdies on this card if he wants to catch up to Carlos. Manuel's and Leon are putting on the heat here. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, rises out of his hand again.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's get that par. All right, hole 8. This is a longer tee shot than the permanent format, pitched up on the side of this hill off an AstroTurf tee pad. Really, it's just a straight shot downhill. You just got to land in that corral. That V the drone just passed through. I mean, if you can thread the needle there, that's a safe shot with a putter. You're just straight line. You got to OB short of this trail here, which really shouldn't come into play unless you hit the tree in front of the tee pad. You know, and here, honestly, I just aim for this tree right here, short right of the basket. I mean, that's where you want to land, skip up. Sloped green, you're throwing at the downslope to the green. So, you know, if you're long of the basket, you can finish really long, really quickly. So these guys, you know, they're either going to thread the needle or they're going to try to pop it out hyzer. But they do have a headwind right to left if they're going to hyzer in that they got to play. Leon's doing a little flex shot. It's going to hyzer out left or fade. Circle's edge.
Yeah, a little downhill 30-footer. Yeah, it is kind of so you can crash into the trees and hope it doesn't roll away. Throw straight at it, I think, is the play, right?
Yeah,
this is the...
Because you get these weird wind hops like he just got here, but he's going to get some nice forward roll and sit. Beautiful shot. Well executed. I bet you Carlos is just going to go straight at it. But he might be lined up. You can see the flag on the basket moving. So yeah, that's... Needs a little more flip up for that hyzer, but he's got great ground play. Might have been what he's playing for. Well executed. I think he's gonna go over. Yep.
Yeah, going wide as well.
Looks the right distance. See what he's got. Come on.
All right.
He's just inside.
Yeah, on the edge there, downhill.
And the gallery is forming. Some players from the previous rounds are coming to follow up the game of the MPO final. Some colleagues of the Bilbao Disc Golf Club are helping with the scoring. You see the live scoring for the spectators. And well, things are getting more and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, you're developing a nice crowd here, man. It's looking good. So Leon's furthest out inside the circle, so let's hope we can see an all-star birdie. Nope. Okay.
Fede is having a hard time on the last holes with the putting. Let's see if he can recover a bit of its confidence.
Yeah, it's not as windy down here, so
yeah, it was a real sigh of relief dropping down. I started 2 holes in front of these guys, so I started on the open windy holes with them, and yeah, as soon as you got into this green, there was a sigh of relief. You just could feel the immediate difference in the wind, which gave Fede his comfort on this putt that he needed. He's been missing his putts. This is going to get some fuel back in him, and let's see if Fede can get back on the birdie train here and put on some heat on these guys. Solid bird from Carlos. That's the CTP for the weekend, I think. They're that white flag right next to the pole. I'm not sure who got that CTP.
I think Carlos. He played on my card. It was our last hole of the last hole of the tournament, and he got it by like a millimeter.
Awesome. That's a nice shot. Let's see if Manuel can get this. All right. This gentleman is moving. Look at that clean scorecard. No bogeys, all birdies. Nice birdie bounce back after those 2 pars. Carlos is 1 stroke ahead of him, but I know Carlos is keeping track of these scores, and he's feeling some pressure.
All right, so this one, you got the Mando right. You have a little backhand right next to the Mando there. Yep. You have a little alley right there with the backhand with something stable. Then you have a forehand line kind of through here. I mean, it looks like you do, but it's not really a great one. I mean, tomahawk or thumb over the top is absolutely the play if you got
That's
it.
That's what I've done every round.
By far. I birdied it 3 times, and it's pretty simple. Just like, if it doesn't roll away, you're good. Yeah. But that is the one.
Yeah, it's a shot, Devin. You're the one that showed me that in practice round a couple months ago. Just throw a thumber at this. And I threw, he's going to throw the forehand here. Just inside the Mando, there's a nice hyzer line with like a super stable mid that I would throw if I wasn't throwing the tomahawk, because this forehand shot is tough. That ceiling's low, the grass is sticky and thick. You're not going to get the forward skip off this grass. You just got to hit that window just right. Carlos has got a pretty sick turnover. I don't know if he's going to do the hyzer or the turnover here.
It's the height.
Yeah. The community was great letting them put this course in. They got some tree trimming to do to open up just a couple holes. This would be one of them, just a limb or 2, but they don't have permission, so the discs will slowly beat it in, and the trees will get a little tall, and it'll be just fine. But for now, it makes them just a little tougher, and this is one of them.
Yeah, and it's beginning to be, that's an interesting play. I've seen that a couple of times.
Yeah, the forehand flop shot, right? Like the stall out fade. I don't know why you wouldn't throw the tomahawk or the thumber.
It's just that.
It's just more consistent. And Leon's got so much power, man. When I throw that, I just try to clear the top of those trees, and that dude's 100 feet above them.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to like dial it in. I'm like, okay, the hardest tomahawk I can possibly throw parked. So I don't even have to think about it. But when you have to like, dial down your speed.
Yeah. I mean, Leon, he's a fitness instructor, coach. The dude's like a little rubber band, man. He doesn't look like he's moving much, but he's twisting, he's using his body right, and he just throws so much power to that disc quick. It's really deceiving when you're playing with him. It's a great layup by Fede. And Manuel just loves these knee putts, but he's probably fighting with that canopy, or he's just comfortable with them. It's a good run.
Yeah, right.
This basket too, man. I mean, you see that hardware in the bottom of this basket. Generally, that's close to the ground level. So this, once again, this basket's a foot higher than you would normally see in the States. And so this, with the slope and the extra foot, it messes with your head, you know. And it got Leon.
No translation
again.
needed there.
Yeah, you know, it's that awkward height. And it's one thing you see in these U.S. tournaments is all the baskets are the same height on these older courses, and that's why those guys are 100% inside the circle. It's just automatic. These make you think a little bit more.
Interesting.
Good execution.
I see 4 pars here, I guess.
Yeah, it's unusual.
Oh wait, no, Carlos is taking a bogey. Yeah, that's right.
So Manuel is about to tie up the final. There he is.
Wow.
So let's see what the back nine brings us in a couple of minutes, no? Sounds exciting. So let's meet in a couple of minutes. Let's drink some water, a beer, something, and see ya in a couple of minutes.
Okay.